one thing that I've noticed happening is that, especially in some of the podcast space in America, is that some people will cling to podcasters as the new magisterium.
Yep.
If they don't say it, then it's not right. If they oppose it, then it's wrong. That is so dangerous.
We're
I don't care
seeing
who
this
does
with
it.
Vigano.
Yes.
Vigano, schismatic,
Yes.
called out by the magisterium for this, and yet you've got podcasters who are either casting doubt on that or who are congratulating Vigano.
Vigano himself said it's a badge of honor to be called a schismatic by the magisterium. How could that be ever good? And it's like, and then people are saying, well, you know, we have to take things into context. What context? There was nothing that can justify schism from the Church of Jesus Christ. Nothing can justify that. And I want to feel for people who feel like they have great difficulty, perhaps, with a Holy Father. And I purposely say Holy Father because that's who he is. Only he is that. I'm not the Holy Father. I could not be the Holy Father. I don't want people to take me as the Holy Father. People might like my preaching. People might like what I teach. And that's great. And they might like the way I say things, how I could be direct with certain things, how so-and-so can be. None of us is the Holy Father but the Holy Father. I love this bishop, this cardinal, and they're awesome. None is the Holy Father who's been called by Christ, instituted by him, given a special grace and promise to lead his church, right? And so I want to be cognizant of that. I want to be cognizant of people who's like feel, but I know that, but I have a difficult time receiving that I can work with and embrace and walk and work with that person. But to then just dissent publicly,
yeah,
and I say this too, the way people can trash talk each other, even the Holy Father, it's like, I don't care what you feel about Pope Francis. I don't care what you think about him. You can't trash talk your father like that. And guys, it's like a friend of mine said this, a professor. He goes, I feel like, so I don't like everything Pope Francis says, but I feel like Catholics were like a big family at a restaurant. We're fighting so hard. There's other people in the restaurant. We're throwing food at each other. We're slapping each other. And people are looking at us and we're like, and by the way, this is the church you should join.
Yeah.
And then we're just going at it. It's like,
yeah.
That's something is wrong there.
So I like that. So that's unhelpful. I agree with you. But I think the opposite, you agree with me, is also unhelpful, where it's like, everything is fine. It's like, clearly there are dysfunctions. We can all see them. So It feels like there's got to be some middle path where you're like, no, things aren't fine. There are confusion things. We do have a sinful Pope. We have a sinful Matt Fradd. We have sinful bishops. We have sinful you, whoever's watching this. Look at the wretch you are, Not you, the person watching. Well, you too, me too.
I'm a wretch.
And it's like, so, yeah. So to deny it is obviously not a good idea
We should
either.
never deny it.
Yeah.
Just like we shouldn't deny, for example, the sins that have been committed in the name of the church in the past. People won't take us seriously.
Yeah.
If we say that everything is great, everything is dandy, it's so patently false that people won't take you seriously. The question is, how do we process that, especially in the public space? Yeah.
Well, before we get to that, I wanted to also add one point that I think some complaints people have is, okay, this is being done to Vigano. I would say Vigano did it to himself, if you deny them.
I agree.
But what about these other people who don't seem to be called on the carpet?
Sure.
Fine. Great. That's a great objection. But that's not an objection to why Vigano is a schismatic.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
And
so you can raise that flag. Fair enough. And
I agree.
You can bring that to your bishop. You can say it respectfully.
Yes. You could even write to the Vatican.
Write to the Vatican.
Make your voice known.
Yep.
Right. The thing is, when everyone is being put on trial on YouTube or in the podcast world, it's like, again, people more and more are going towards that as the last voice, as the jury.
Yeah.
But we're not the jury. We are sons and daughters of the church with concerns. I want to pray for Vigano. Because we mentioned him, I think we have a responsibility to pray for him. Also, for James White. I mentioned his name, but I don't think it was in the best light.
Okay.
And so I love him. I want to say I love him too. And he's my brother too. Yeah. He's also a brother in Christ. As much as he probably won't like that or probably won't think the same of us.
Yeah.
But he's still a human person, and I want to see the humanity in him and the love. I also feel like he's probably someone who's been wounded greatly. There's something in there that I think is huge, deep wound. So, Lord, our dear brother, Archbishop Vigano, we offer him to you in his suffering and his pains. We offer up to you those who are with him, who support him. We ask, oh Lord, that you bring healing, the healing balm of truth and charity. We ask that you bless our brother and bring him back to the fold, connect him with your church in cum Petro sub Petro, with Peter under Peter, to be united.
Man, have you checked out Exodus 90 lately? If you've heard of Exodus 90 before, you're probably thinking of cold showers and Lent. But the Exodus 90 app offers so much more. It's a daily companion to help you grow closer to God and to become the man you want to be. This summer, I'm following along with the app's daily scriptures, reflections, and prayers. It's awesome. On the app, you can join the Enthronement to the Sacred Heart, the Exodus 90 Summer Book Club, and St. Michael's Lent, which starts August 15th and leads up to the Feast of St. Michael the Archangel on September 29th. St. Michael's Lent is an ancient tradition of prayer and fasting popularized by St. Francis in the Middle Ages that's been lost in our time. Let's bring it back. Join the men of Exodus 90 and Father Carlos Martins, Catholic priest, exorcist, and host of the Exorcist Files, who will serve as our spiritual guide for St. Michael's Lent this year on the Exodus 90 app. We will awaken to invisible realities and enter into the spiritual battle that rages around us all the time. Go to exodus90.com/Matt for a 14-day free trial to the Exodus 90 app and to learn more about St. Michael's Lent. That's exodus90.com/Matt to join us for St. Michael's Lent starting August 15.